Hey, so I've done yellow crystal, so this is for red crystal. And again, just to repeat on the disclaimer here, so even if you are focusing on one color, do remember to pull for other color as well, just because not everything is crystal mission based, and hence we still need some form of utility to beat future content. And I will include some LDCA. Actually, after looking at the banner, mostly it's just Rains and Raijin call, but I will tell you which banner that they will come with. And again, this is not my pool plan, it's just my recommendation. So assuming that if you are a new player, for veterans, well, you can kind of look at it. Most of the characters that I mentioned to skip, probably you can do so as well, especially if you already have a good roster to back your if you have a good roster already to beat content. Anyway, the aim here is to fill up the roster as soon as possible with multiple roles and utility. So let us start with Lightning and Beatrix. Alright, so Lightning and Beatrix, you must pull this banner because there's not a lot of red crystal coming in, for the couple of 1 to 2 months, and hence Beatrix is definitely a must. Not only that, she is really good, really budget in the sense because she can solo a lot of content. So crystal mission, if the fight doesn't require some very specific force gauge or force weakness, then Beatrix can solo that stage. So if she can solo that stage, you don't even need other red crystal characters for you to clear the mission. So Beatrix is really good. She provides very good defense capability. With her BT now, you will not receive any form of damage, 100% HP damage mitigation unless the enemy have very high HP damage up, which is unlikely. So she can defense, mitigate damage as well as doing very good off-turn damage. So what you want to do with her is remove all the speed passive, give the enemy as many turns, and that would trigger Beatrix off turn, and during her own turn she actually hit really hard as well. So I recommend to gem this banner. For Lightning, it's more like a consolidation at this point. For Red Crystal, you probably won't really use her as much because there's also Arania in the banner right now, and I would actually recommend that over Lightning. So Beatrix cover defensive and off-turn team. Her aura is also very good, so if you want to use her in an on-turn team, which means with all this passive included, and you are going like for delaying the enemy or prevent or not letting them have a turn, yeah, Beatrix is still good, so very versatile in that sense. Now, if you are using Beatrix at this point, so you don't really have a character that really deal on turn damage, like BT face character, right? So Lightning is one of them, but Lightning is single target, and I wouldn't really recommend Lightning over character like Braska or Arania. So if you are going for red, then I would suggest you to get Braska BT, because Braska not only fulfill the condition of being a fast charger, which is really crucial because fast charger, if the enemy has a force time that you can't cancel, like you don't have the force weakness for it, then you can always outcharge the enemy, and Braska is the only character that has fast charging at this point. The later down we will get like Rosa, Kader, but that is pretty far off. So right now to start, Braska is really good for that, so I would suggest you to get it. And since you lack of a on-turn damage dealer, so Braska is probably perfect for that role. So I would recommend you to actually gem this banner as well as getting Ace, because Ace also work very well with Beatrix for off turn, and technically you don't need his BT for him to work. Okay, so gem, Braska, and Ace. Now, gem this banner as well. You just started the game, you have plenty of resource, it's just that you need to farm for it. You really need to farm for it. I was talking to Scott. If you all know Scott, he is the person that does the infographic for boss mechanic. Another one is Excalibur, but Scott does it as well, and he has a full video talking very detailedly about that. So he just recently started a new account, he called it Scott Jr. And yeah, according to him, the first few banners he just went hard, he pulled every single banner, jammed every single banner, get as many characters as possible. So I would recommend the same, because this 3 banner that we have right now is actually really good, and it covers different roles. So you have like Beatrix with defense, you have Braska support with fast charging, and then you have Aranya break delay, and then you have Sephiroth as well, doing very good AoE damage. So yeah, this 3 banner is like a really good banner for beginner to start with, so do not sleep on this. Jam them, okay? Aranya, very good AoE and single target DPS. Sephiroth without BT is still okay. So, and he has a very generic FR as well, so if you just want to activate this FR and use all your other characters BT phase, feel free to do so, okay? And while you are pulling this banner, might as well just get Cater LCA, do max her out. Her LD CA is actually pretty good to freeze enemy brave, and that can be very tactical and useful in a lot of fights. And for Christis and Rains, you can kind of skip this, but do not skip on Sid Rains' LD call. It is vital for a lot of setup, so at least stick at it. And for 6 warrior quests, you do need him, because 6 warrior quests, the main 2 mechanics that you need to deal with is dealing magic launch, and Rains have magic launch. So if you are a new player, you wouldn't have any other magic launch. So you can use it as call, because there's 3 instances that you need to do magic launch. For the first instance, you can use Sid Rains base call. For the second sequence, you can use Sid Rains LD call and try to damage the enemy as much as possible. Then you can use like Braska going into BT phase with Rains launch, then he can continuously do so. Okay, but if you are going that route, you have to charge your gauge before the enemy, because you will not be able to cancel the enemy's FR. Okay, so unless you pull for Christis. So in the case where you can't really outcharge the enemy, then you need to get Christis FR, because you need it to cancel the enemy's gauge in order to do damage against the enemy, because if you don't, then the enemy will heal back every time you deal HP damage towards it. But again, Beatrix might be able to solo this. I have not seen a video about that, and I'm not really sure. I probably will try and test it out. So if it does work, then you don't have to pull for this banner. But no matter what, just pull for Sid Rains LD. Next is Astos. It's no brainer. You have to pull for this. There's just no reason not to pull for this. He does so much damage compared to anyone else in this game so far. Even in the future, all the way 6 months down, he is the top DPS. So pull for him. And Cloud and Celeste, skip. You have Aranya for delay. Unless you want paralysis, then you can get Cloud. But if you don't, I think it's alright. I don't remember there's a hard requirement for paralysis. Then Rosa and Kurasame. Okay, Kurasame is a red crystal. You only have Beatrix 1 and you are doing solo. So if you can't do solo runs, then yeah, you do need another red crystal. So Kurasame does fit the bill. But the problem is that Beatrix and Kurasame is quite hard to synergize, because they are of different elements. But most of Beatrix attack is actually non-elemental. It's just that she enchants herself with elements. So if the skill itself is not non-elemental, you can still enchant it with ice. So it will be ice and lightning. So in that case, pull for Kurasame. And if you're using Kurasame and Beatrix, then Kurasame is the FR to use. Do not use Beatrix FR and expecting that Kurasame will fulfill her condition. It doesn't work that way. So Kurasame, use FR as main, then you can use Beatrix as FR as echo. It is not ideal to put Beatrix and Kurasame for off turn, because Kurasame does slow down the enemy and you want the enemy to take as many turns as possible. But if you are going for that, then Crystal passive D3 and D6 does makes both Kurasame and Beatrix slower, so it kind of counter the effect of Kurasame slow. So that works as well. And Kurasame's BT also have a defensive mechanism where it frees enemies brave so they can never deal damage to you if they do not have the ability to gain brave. Together with Beatrix, there's no way that that team will die. But since you have just gemmed 4 banners in total, so I could understand that if you want to save some resource at this point, so at least ticket for Rosa and Kurasame. Kurasame's FR is pretty generic and good for that. And Rosa, yeah, it is not going to be a waste by having more charger. Like if you are playing Dare to Defy, you can always put charger in 1, charger in 2, charger in 3. The more the merrier, right? So do grab Rosa in that case because you will be wanting Kurasame's FR. And the next is Oren. So Oren, just FR. You don't really need his BT. He does work with Beatrix as well for off turn together with Ace. So yeah, do pull for him, but you can just use ticket to get his FR. Then coming next is Dorgan and Bards. Yeah, you don't need Bards, so you can skip that. Dorgan, do ticket for it. The reason that he is generally very good, everyone should just pull for him because later he can combo very well with certain characters, and Noelle is coming and that is a very good combo, and you don't even need Noelle's BT to pull off that combo. You don't even need Dorgan's BT to pull off that combo, so it's kind of like a budget combo. So in that case, if you just need ticket, there's no reason for you to not pull for them, right? So ticket for Dorgan's and Bard's banner, but for Dorgan's FR. If you already get it, then you can skip Bard's. And Setzer, yeah, just pull for him. You don't have Quina. Setzer bypasses a lot of things. Like I mentioned just now, if you do not have the force weakness to cancel enemies force time, then the force time has a condition where you deal 0 damage against an enemy. Yeah, with Setzer, you will be able to do damage. There's 70% chance that he will deal max damage. That is similar to Quina's gimmick, but Quina's is 100% chance. So, but Setzer has a longer BT effect, so it's kind of like, yeah. Anyway, you can't get your hand on Quina, so do gem for Setzer. He is that good. His FR is also very generic with 50% HP damage limit up, so don't miss out on that. So next is Chill and Pain. Yeah, you can skip Chill and Pain. And here Lena and Noctis. So with Braska, BT, Arania, and Astos, there should be sufficient DPS. So you don't need to purposely pull for another DPS because with BT, Lena becomes a very strong AoE DPS. So if you want to save some resource, you don't have to invest into Lena since you already have Braska. So I would recommend you to get Lena's FR instead. Just get her FR because you kind of need it to defeat Leviathan. So if you don't have her FR, it's gonna be very difficult for you to defeat Leviathan. And with her FR, it's just enough. So I have done the fight in JP just with Lena's FR and I could beat it. So I would expect you to be able to just bring her in your party with FR. For Gobes and Renoa, yeah, you already have enough AoE DPS. Astos exists, so you can skip on Gobes. And here we have Reno and Vincent. Pull for this with all the gems that you have because Reno is really good. First, he made off-turn team better, and since the beginning, you have maxed out Beatrix, and then you have Ace, you have Oren, so you have a very strong off-turn character, so might as well just boost that, get Reno. Every time Reno uses his HP plus, he delays the entire team, so giving the enemy more chance to attack your party. And the more they attack, the more you counter, the more damage you do. And even if you don't want to use Reno as the off-turn character, yeah, you can just activate his FR, don't use his HP plus until you have set up properly, then enter his BT phase and use his HP plus because his HP plus hits so hard. It's 11 HP dump AoE, so he does cover for your AoE DPS requirement. On top of that, he has a utility delaying the enemy, he prevents the enemy from dealing damage. So yeah, do get him. And also Raijin Call is in this banner, is still a very good call up to this point, so don't miss out on that. Now moving to Queen and Tifa, yeah, doesn't really add much value to the party at this point. So you can skip on Queen and Tifa because, yeah, unless if you want to make Reno hit harder with his HP plus, which I don't think is necessary for you to go all out that way. So yeah, save resources and skip Queen and Tifa. Weiss and Ram, yes, pull for them. You don't have to jam this banner, you just have to ticket it because Weiss is also pretty good without his BT. With his BT obviously is better, but you don't necessarily just need the BT. So just get his FR, it's good enough. With his EX, he does follow-up attack, and that is the thing that we want from him. His FR is also very generic. At this point, in GL, when he debuted, is probably the FR that can generate the highest HP damage bonus a turn, because every time he does the off turn, I think it's like, there's a certain percentage to that, and it works even during other players' turn, right? So if like you're using Aranya is attacking, then you have Weiss doing preemptive attack, so you get that bonus on top of whatever Aranya is going to trigger. Now, as similar to the yellow crystal, Ram do pull for it. Turn manipulation, instant turn. Her FR is really good for that. So since you are already getting Weiss, might as well ticket until you get Ram as well. And next is Anna, Crow, and Noelle. So as I mentioned, Noelle, yellow, but it's not necessary that you only pull for red. So it combos very well with Dorgan, as I mentioned. So pull for Noelle, just ticket is enough just to get his FR, and then you can do all that break shenanigans, and then Dorgan keep doing follow-up attacks. Is insane. Cater and Edgar, you need Edgar's FR LD. Okay, at LD and FR, and because it's red, so might as well just get it. The advantage here of Edgar is that his FR is magic, melee, and range. So he fulfill a lot of force weakness condition. So if like you go back and trying to do some Shinryu like Intertwined Will, some story Shinryus, or Lost Chapter, yeah, then Edgar can actually really help out to settle that. So if you bring like Edgar and then you have Astos, then maybe Braska for Max Brave up to few Astos, then you probably can kill and defeat all of the previous Shinryu. And most importantly, Edgar is required for Shiva Spiritus. Without Edgar, you probably cannot win Shiva Spiritus. There is just no way because it's that restrictive. So yeah, so at least ticket for Edgar's LD. If you get the FR, it's even better. Now for Kelger, again, Red Crystal, pull for him. I would say like at this point, he's probably like an upgraded Beatrix. He can solo content as long as enemy is not doing guaranteed hit, he can evade everything. So it kind of at this point like you are focusing on solo. If the enemy has guaranteed hit, then you use Beatrix. If the enemy doesn't have guaranteed hit, then you use Kelger. You can solo everything. Okay, so definitely jam for Kelger. I would recommend to jam because it's a new character. You don't have his 15 CP, 35 CP, FR, EX, LD, BT. Just pull, jam. Okay, Deuce and Vivi. So as a new player, really, again, let's get as much fast charger as you can. So Deuce is a fast charger. So if you don't want to waste resources by jamming, so you can ticket and at least get Deuce FR, so she fulfilled the condition of a fast charger. Fusoya and Kiran, probably you don't need them, so I would suggest to skip. And now we have Struggle and Lock. Skip. The next banners are FE50, and you probably will want to jam more in that era because the first banner that will come with FE50 is a triple BT banner that has Aerith in it, and Aerith is the red crystal and a very good red crystal. With her at level FE50, it's going to be amazing. She fulfills the role of supercharging. She has defensive qualities from her BT, and she is the only, I believe it's still the only at this point, FR that is a non-attacking FR. So bite itself when you use it is 80% HP damage bonus, and if you fulfill other condition when you use it, then you will get over 100%. So I would suggest to gem this banner, and together with her is Rosa and Jill. I don't think that this banner will change because they come with FE 50, so it definitely will be the same banner. And yeah, Jill previously you skipped, so it's great that you can pick up another character. Rosa as well, you did not skip. I do recommend his FR, but you do not have her BT. So if you throw gem at this, there's a chance that you can actually get all triple BT as well as FR. So it's a very good banner to pull for, and I would really recommend it. Okay, so at this point, you probably has completed red crystals, and you will be changing to another color. So by that time, I will do another video to suggest what are possible pools that you should go for. Just keep in mind, Kadaj, which is red crystal, is also coming in a couple of banners after Aerith, so that's that. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Thank you very much. Do leave a comment. Again, this is a new series that I try to do, so obviously there's only 6 episodes, I would say. Next, white, black, blue or green, which one do you want? Do let me know in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching.